Alright, so we're going through a little bit of upgrades on this guy here. And I just kind of wanted to show what I was doing here a little bit. I just kind of made a little bit of room here to where I can work. And just want to kind of show you what's going on here. First off, we're using our iFly or Fly Venom or whatever. It's a 30C pack. I use these for everything. It's a little 2S pack. Um, I use them on anything that I'm playing with on the micros. I just like the pack. I think it gives plenty of power, so on and so forth. So what I've got here is I have an Iguana, Furitek Iguana ESC. And these things are supposed to be pretty badass, so I figured I would try them. It comes with this right here. Everything you see here minus this piece here. I had to buy that separately. I could have made one, but I'm just tired of making them, honestly, and they're only a few bucks, so what the hell. So what I've basically done here is I've removed the transmission instead of removing the screws and stuff here. I'm going to, because it's not getting real good modulation right now on the slow end, and I don't know if that's just the ring and pinion that we're dealing with in the axles, or if it's the motor or transmission or whatever. So I've got another transmission over here that I'm going to compare it to. This is one that came out of the FMS. So I'm going to kind of compare, because this one actually didn't do bad on the slow crawl. It was just really noisy with the ESC. So this transmission is actually decent. And these are pretty much similar. The setup's similar, might even be the same, honestly, I don't know. So that's what we're going to kind of look at now and find out why this one here, maybe it's got too high a gearing or whatever. I have an RGT motor right here, the 050 that I really like. Excuse me. That gives me a decent crawl speed on the SCX24. So I'm going to kind of compare them and see what I could do. Maybe I'll just swap that one out with this one. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of see what this is. It looks like it's the same size of motor, but you know, a lot of these motors can have a bigger can and not be the same. The bad thing is these have no markings on them at all, so it's hard to tell what they even are. So I'm going to break this open here, and then we're going to kind of see what everything is. So I'm going to get you set up to where you can kind of get a view of this here, what I'm working on, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, that gets our cover off here. Now, right off the bat, you will notice that the spur is a lot bigger than the one on the other one. So I might honestly either try to swap them or something. Let's see what we can do with swapping. All right, this should be much better. We'll switch over to this camera here and see what we can see. So what I normally like using is these RGT 050 motors. These are pretty badass. So, but as you can tell, kind of switches around here so you can tell. This over here is the FMS Atlas setup. I just basically, excuse me, swapped the entire transmission out for a Komodo setup for my Furitek. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull this off, see if maybe I can swap it with that one. If that don't work, maybe I'll just swatch the entire transmission. I don't know. Let's get something to get this off of here and kind of see where we're at. So right from the get-go, I'm not sure that you can actually move that too much because the plate is way different. Let's see. Let's just see what we can see, because I mean, these even have a very similar pattern. So maybe I can just swap out the skid or something. I don't know. We'll look at that too. Let's see if this will even swap in. I doubt it. but we'll check it out anyway. Pull this guy off. Okay, so we finally got that on there. Sorry about my phone going off here. It constantly goes off sometimes. Now, without going to a bigger pinion, we're not going to be able to move that because the mounting on the motor, it only moves back and forth this way, so that's not going to work. So let's try an actual transmission swap. I wasn't planning on that, but you know, maybe we can do that. So put this guy back on here. Make sure it's all buttoned up nice. Not too tight. Got a little bit of looseness to it. And we'll go ahead and put this guy back on here too, just to kind of preserve what we have here. I mean, this transmission isn't bad, but for crawling, honestly, I think the gearing is set too high, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of options to change it. I could modify this, but why when I have an entire transmission set right here that will probably drop right in? That's what I'm going to find out. So I took this off of the plate on the bottom of this guy here. Now, the plates and stuff look like they're very similar. Even the hole mounting is similar, so I'm just going to try to drop it in. The link setup, everything looks like it should drop right in, so that's what we're going to try to do now. So we're going to try to get all these screws out here and just going to try to swap out, see if that'll work. It should. And if it does, that'll be awesome. Then I won't have to go any further with this, and we can have a nice setup. Now, the moment of truth. So, let's see which way did this thing go in the beginning. It was in there like this. Alright, so let's see if we can line this up without having to do any modifications at all. It looks like it will, but let's see. Okay, so automatically it does line up, but it looks like those pins are a little bit small or a little bit big. So let's see if we can kind of finagle them in. The other side actually went in, so I might have to shave those down just a little bit. Looks like they're going though. We'll just kind of work them in slow. Yep. Okay, so they were just a little bit on the big side, but they actually went in, which is really nice. I like that a lot. Okay, so let's get our screws back in here. This is the slowest right here. Which again, that's way better. Startup power, let's go to low. Let's try that. Again, that's not bad for what it used to be. Yeah, we're still retaining a lot. Honestly, I think that might be all we can do here, guys. Here's my throttle curve for any of you geeks out there that wants to look at that. That's my throttle curve. And then, honestly, that's it. I mean, here's my telemetry. So let's switch it over here and just kind of let it sit here, just kind of hang out. And I'll show you what this is all about here. Get the ESC out of the way. There we go. And you can see here's where some of my binding is at. Is those shocks are going to be a problem. So we're going to get rid of those here soon too. So here's the throttle curve. Kind of show you that, or the telemetry. This is max forward. So max forward, I'm running at 99% throttle. RPM 126. Here's reverse. Reverse isn't even showing up on throttle. I'm running at 24 RPM. Honestly, that should be plenty for what I'm looking to do with this thing. I think that'll work. Now, I'm going to continue to work on this model and make more improvements. I think the next set of improvements I need to work on might maybe be the shocks. These are not oil-filled shocks. They're the ones that came with it. I've switched shocks back and forth several times. I went back to these because of the length on them. So I need to find something that works a little bit better here. And I don't have a cover for this FMS transmission, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. So what do you guys think? This is, you know, what I used to call, I guess I still call it, my outdoor crawler. I like taking this thing on the rocks outside. It always did good before, even when it had the surging issue. But now, hopefully, this will be a drastic improvement for it, and it'll kind of do that slow crawl that I've been looking for. But all in all, guys, I mean, this little guy here, for a cheap crawler, it looks good. It now crawls good. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty fun to play with. I really like this body. I really like the size of it. I like the setup. Only thing I didn't really like was the electronics and the transmission gears, now that I've seen that. So otherwise, it's pretty capable. It does a decent job. That surging thing does drive me nuts. So now that that's gone, I think I can really enjoy this thing, and that's what I plan on doing. So, but again, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching, and we're going to get this guy out and have some fun with him and figure him out. Get some better upgrades for him and make him a better truck.